I have the pleasure of introducing Stella Ihenacho. Stella Ihenacho is another speaker for the I Am Change conference, and she stands as a distinguished Harvard-trained leader, channeling her passion for educational transformation and community development into a remarkable journey of impact. As the co-founder and Agile faculty lead at NSTAR Technologies, a premier consulting education institution in Atlanta, Georgia, Stella has refined the career and learning landscape for numerous students through innovative training and skills acquisition programs. Stella Ihenacho is driven by a profound commitment to holistic women's development. Stella is a visionary force behind the Women Doing It Afraid community, impacting women globally. She founded this community to empower and mobilize women to be more through education, events, and empowerment initiatives. Do you want to learn more about Stella's journey as a commitment to excellence and leadership and continuous growth? I'd like to introduce Stella to you guys.
Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday.
Welcome,
Thank you
Stella.
very much. So I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm ready to kick it off if you give me the go ahead. Okay, I think that's the go ahead. All right, so thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you for the opportunity as well. Thank you to all the change makers and change leaders that are here today. I just want to start off by saying that the world is definitely a better place because you all are in it. So thank you for bringing your light, and thank you for showing up as well. And so today I am going to be bringing two parts of my light together. One of my lights, which is being a women empowerment advocate, championing women in their growth and ensuring that, no woman is left behind, but also the other light of mine, which has been an agile coach and an agile thought leader. And so personal empowerment and development is something that we are all familiar with. I want to believe so. But I also do not want to assume that everyone on here is conversant with the concept of agile from a professional standpoint. So I'm just going to really explain so quickly. So when we hear the word agile, different things comes to our mind, right? Fast, sharp, flexible, nimble, being able to adapt, and so much more. And so for me, as someone who professionally I help organizations, develop strategies so that they can be more agile, I have seen that the impact of agility on how it's impacted their people, their products, their processes, and also their profits as well. And so with that being said, also even helping professionals become agile practitioners, one of the things that we always start with in our curriculum in the school is that we always start with the agile mindset. Before we even talk about agile as a methodology or agile as a way of working or even becoming an agile expert, we start with the agile mindset, right? And it's funny because while agile is a strategy that is used by companies, we also realize that even the people in those companies also, for agile as a way of work to excel and to succeed, the people have to have that agile mindset. And so today, what I'm really doing, my job here is super, super simple, which is really ensuring that I am bringing that agile mindset and connecting it to personal empowerment and personal development and sharing that with everyone on the call today. And so, from an organizational point of view, from agile being a way of work, agile being a mindset, and my experience in all of these things, every day I keep learning, I keep seeing the impact of how it has shifted from just a way of working, a way of producing software, a way of producing products to really a way of life, right? So if I think about it here, most of the women, all the women on here today, we are at different stages of our lives. We wear different hats, we have different whys. But one thing that we do have in common, though, is our desire and our drive for empowerment, either from the boardroom to the classroom to the home to the community. Personal empowerment serves as that cornerstone for us to thrive, right? To thrive, to lead, to take ownership of our lives, to create change. It's about us understanding what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our uniqueness is, what our opportunities are, so that every day we are better than who we were yesterday, right? And so again, just to bring it all up together. So my topic is really all about personal empowerment with a specific focus about embracing agility. Because in the world that we're in, if we think about it, right, there's so much changes, so many uncertainty. And so agility as a tool is really just all about how do we navigate all of those uncertainty? How do we navigate me being sure today and I'm not sure tomorrow? How do you navigate me wanting to be better than who I was yesterday, but then today I wake up and I'm not feeling it? Like, how do we navigate all of that? How do we navigate the different parts in our life? How do we ensure that we have agile as a mindset, right? And we begin to live in that way. So quick story I'm going to share. And I'm sharing this story because I feel like in this story, there are going to be people who would relate to some part of this story, right? So there's a young woman, her name is Maya. Maya is bright. Maya is ambitious. Maya is full of dreams. And as she was growing up, right, Maya has always been told to, like, these are the rules you have to follow. Excel in your studies, do this, get this job, do that, and you'll be all right. But Maya gets older. Maya is getting more exposed. Maya is meeting other amazing people, and she's feeling like there's something more that is within her, and she can't really place what that is. She wants to break free, right? She feels like there's more to her potential. And so one day Maya is doing everything that she has been told to do. She's at her desk, she's doing her work, she's doing all of that, but she's feeling that restlessness within her. I always say this thing that the fire inside of me would not burn me. And I believe there's only one person who gave me that fire. And I believe that other people on this call can also relate to that, which is there's that restlessness inside. And that restlessness is not new. And so for Maya, at the beginning, she was hesitant, right? Because she's like, how is she going to start? This change is scary. There's so much uncertainty. But then there's that possibility. It's almost like, what can happen? Like, what is the next thing? If I do this, what can really happen? And so she thought about this for a while. And then she realized that she has been playing it safe for too long. She's been comfortable for too long. She's been holding herself back because of the fear of the unknown until she made that decision that, you know what, I'm going to embrace fear. And I'm going to embrace fear in a way where I use it as energy to change my story. I'm going to lean into the parts of who I am that I'm not aware of, right? And I'm going to let that carry me to wherever it carries me. I'm going to open up myself to know myself more. So she started small. She started taking risks, started trying new things, started being on calls like this, stepping out of her comfort zone. And she failed. She stumbled, she made mistakes. But along the way, she started learning more. She started understanding more facets of who she was, right? She embraced agility as a mindset. She embraced agility as a way of living, as a way of life. She began to understand what she could do, what she could not do. Her values were being redefined, right? And she began to realize that personal empowerment isn't about just conforming or doing things within our comfort zone. It's about literally stepping into areas that are calling us, but we think we're not equipped for. It's about daring to dream bigger and dream wider and dream deeper, even if we think we don't have the tools to achieve those dreams yet, right? And so that is literally Maya's story. She learned that true personal empowerment lies in not playing it safe, but in embracing the unknown, in embracing the unpredictable, right? In embracing the extraordinary that she was. And her story is such a powerful reminder that agility, honestly, is not just a choice. We can't choose to want to be changed or to want to be in our comfort zone. It's if we're on that journey of personal empowerment, it's no longer a choice. It literally has to be the framework, the foundation, the building blocks of who we are as persons. And so now moving right along to how do we then understand personal empowerment through an agile lens? People always talk about believing in yourself, right? Believing in yourself. And I say, after we believe in ourselves, what do we do with that, right? From an agile lens, understanding personal empowerment is understanding the uniqueness of who we are. Like I said earlier on, our strengths, right? Our passions, what makes us who we are, our voices, the way we think, our unique story, our unique identity, and also how we take all of that to shape our destiny. Yes, I used to cringe before when I hear things around, you have the power to shape your destiny. I'm always wondering, where do we live? Where do we create room for God in that picture? And then I remember that actually in the Bible, first of all, God has given us the power of choice, but also the story in the Bible about the talent that were given to the men, they were given the talent, just like how you and I have been given the talent, but we have the choice to do something with that talent. So they had a choice to shape their destiny. And some people shaped it by, of course, burying the talent. Some people shaped it by trading with it, right? And so, yes, through agility, we have the power to shape our destiny. We have the power to figure out, is this setback going to hold me back? Or is this setback going to be a place where I literally I'm silent, I understand what is going on, and I learn from that, right? And so from an agile perspective, from an agile lens, right? First of all, it's all about embracing change. You talk about personal empowerment, right? It's about embracing change. It's about starting. So starting with what you know now. And when you know more, you're able to course correct or change your course. Like when we work with agile teams, we're always saying, let's not be afraid of change. First of all, the world is so volatile. Change is the only constant thing. And so most companies that are so relevant now is because they're not afraid of change. They embrace change. And some of them even foresee change before change even happens, right? And so from a personal empowerment point of view, the question for you is, how am I embracing change? What change am I even resisting? That is it, right? What change am I resisting? What change am I holding on to instead of me leaning all into that change, right? So now moving right along, from the change perspective, right? Another thing about agility is we just don't react to circumstances. Agile teams don't just react to circumstances. They have to either respond to them, right? And they respond to them with purpose. And so it's one thing to wear Sarah, whatever will be, yes. But then at the end of the day, what is that guiding principle that is leading you to responding? So one of the things that agile teams are usually encouraged to do is to have something that we call like a sprint goal, right? What is your sprint goal? So within a period of time, they have a goal that they're working towards. What is your goal from a personal empowerment point of view? What is your guiding principle? What is your North Star? What is my North Star? Where am I trying to get to? Because if I talk about agility, about responding to change, about not being afraid of failure or not making mistakes, right? Sometimes we get exhausted in that journey because we're not even really sure where we are going to. And so while all progress is great, the question is, where are we progressing towards, right? So two things I've talked about here, which is being able to just understand where we're going to, but also understanding that it's okay for us to embrace change. It's okay for us to lean into change. It's okay for us to see failure as a way where we can learn lessons and move forward. And if you have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat for me as well. I want to also move right along to what is then the transformative power, right, of agility for personal empowerment. What is the transformative power of agility for personal empowerment? And the question I have for you today, as you're thinking through this week, how many people have experienced something that they did not see coming? How many people have experienced something at work, at home, in a career, in our business, in our personal life that we didn't see coming? And that is life, right? So life is just a roller coaster. It's full of ups, it's full of downs. Life just happens, right? And so what are the practical tools? Now I want to talk about practical tools, and I've mentioned some of them in my previous slide, but what are the practical tools from agility that we can really use to forge ahead to embracing that assignment that would definitely move us forward and empower us and amplify our personal empowerment? Number one, I mentioned before, was all about embracing change. I don't think I've talked about that much more, but really embracing change. Whatever change you're resisting right now, that change is calling on you to embrace it, because the more you embrace it, the more you realize the capacity that you have. Second one, of course, is learning from setbacks. Failure is a word that carries so much weight, thanks to our upbringing, our mindset, and all of that, right? When we hear about failure, it's almost like shame, disappointment. But in agile teams, we talk about fail fast, fail forward. What can we learn from that experience? How about if we stop calling it failure and say it was an experience, right? It was an experience. It is an experience. It was an experience, right? How about it's just lessons learned instead of I failed, and then it brings down our energy, it brings down our momentum. Yes, that would happen because we're human beings. But then what do we do with that? What is the next step from that? Another thing from agile perspective, right, towards personal empowerment is continuous growth. We always encourage teams whereas we learn, we don't get comfortable with what we know. So how are we growing continuously? Because personal empowerment isn't just a destination. Nobody can be 100% personally empowered. It's literally a journey, right? You learn, I learn, we learn from everybody. It's a journey of continuous growth and really self-discovery. It's about challenging ourselves to step again out of those comfort zone, to learn new skills, to push the boundaries, and not just learning the skills because we want to become an expert in that, but we are opening up our mind in different ways. We are understanding culture, understanding how people react, how people think, right? Because you never know where your next step is going to lean into. And so for agile individuals or teams, we always say, be lifelong learners. Constantly seek opportunities for growth, for development. It could be taking a class. It could be seeking out a mentor. It could be learning from an experience. It could be shadowing somebody. And the last point here is protecting our mind, right? I talked about how most times in teams, we always encourage the teams to be focused, be committed on their goals so that they're not distracted. We literally have someone in an agile team called a Scrum Master who one of their main goal, right, main responsibility is to protect the team from distraction or teach the teams how to protect themselves from distraction. And so for me, I always, I thought about this and I said we should be quicker to protecting our mind at all costs, the same way we're so quick to protect our phone from falling to the ground. How do we protect our mind? Right? How do we protect our mind? How do you protect your mind? Because again, there's so many distractions out there, but understanding what our goal is, knowing what our focus is, knowing that even as we go on that journey, there will be setbacks. There probably will be experiences, not failures, right? We have to continuously grow, but in all, our mind, because out of everything we see is a byproduct from our mind. So when we talk about why is this not working this way, sometimes maybe taking some steps back to say, but what is going on in my mind? Because I cannot have a negative mindset and expect positive fruits, right? I can have all of this going on here and expect a whole different outside. Outside is all a byproduct of what's going on inside, right? And so protecting our mind, just the same way we protect the teams, just the same way we try to avoid distraction. So just the same way we tell them, you can't work on 10 things at the same time. What is it you're working on? Who is speaking to you? Protecting our minds. So in summary, in essence here, right, agility isn't just a fancy buzzword. Yes, it's important for companies and organizations, right, to figure out what is coming, to be adaptable, to ensure that they're providing what their customers want as well, right? But even for us as women, for us as moms or daughters or business professionals or career mavericks, right? Just as women, literally, it's all about like, how can I be agile as a person? How can I have that agile mindset? And I'm going to give practical strategies. I'm not sure what the time check is, but I'm just going to be taking a look at that. I'm going to be giving practical strategies here for embracing agility. Number one, set empowering goals. Set empowering goals. Most times I've noticed that when teams don't know where they're going to, when their goals or their product vision or their product roadmap doesn't connect with them, they're just doing work for doing work's sake. Versus when a team feels like they have a stake in what they're building, they show up to work more empowered and with innovation. Does your goal empower you? I don't want to, like, does your goal empower you? I think that's just a simple question. Do you feel empowered by your goal? Not do you feel external empowerment from somebody who is pursuing their own goal and you feel like you like what you're seeing, and then that goal becomes your goal? Does the goal, does your assignment, your intrinsic fire, your passion, does it empower you, right? Because when we set goals that really resonate with our deepest values and who we are and who we're becoming, we're not dreaming anymore. We're living. That even when we have those experiences that look like they're holding us back, there's a bigger pull than us that pulls us out of that bed, that pulls us out of that mood, that pulls us out of that I don't think I'm qualified, that pulls us out of that I don't know who to talk to, that pulls us out of that I'm an introvert, I don't know how to network. There's something always bigger that pulls us out of it, right? So empowering goals. Number one practical strategy for embracing agility in personal empowerment. Second one is cultivating self-awareness. Cultivating self-awareness. When people say, this is who I am, how do you know this is who you are when you've not lived out all the days of your life to really know who you are? You know who you are now, but you cannot say, this is who I am. That's almost like an encompassing statement. So self-awareness is literally understanding that every day you're going to find another level of you, as long as every day you're stepping out of your comfort zone, you're trying your best, and you're doing it one day at a time, right? So it's not just about introspection and saying, okay, this is who I am. It's about what do you do with that information? What is the move? What is the action move that you do with that, right? It's about discovering more about yourself. And so even again, back to teams, right? One of the things we always say with the team is we want a team that has all the skills to deliver. So that is self-awareness on the team level. What about self-awareness on the personal level? The next one I want to talk about here is seeking support and mentorship. None of us can journey through life by ourselves, right? I see that my time is up, right? Okay.
Yes.
Can I just summarize this slide real quick? Just key takeaways, okay? I don't have to say it anymore. You all can see the screen. Just key takeaways, and I'll hand it back to you, Annalie.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you. So I would like to open up the floor because we're running behind for one question. If you would like to type your questions in the chat, maybe I can get to it very quickly. Okay. How can people connect with you, first of all, as we wait for the question?
So I have on the screen right now, if you have your phone, you can take, you can open your camera. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Stella Ihenacho. On Instagram, it's stella.ihenacho. And I think those are the two key places. Or you can visit my website, www.stellaihenacho.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Please connect with Stella on all of her social media platforms. Stella, this was fantastic. We really, really enjoyed your presentation.
Absolutely.
Keep up the fantastic work.